One of the things I've noticed as a scholar on the comparative religious world, where various worldviews, various religions, is how little Richard Dawkins actually knows about world religions, including Christianity. He's abysmally ignorant of the statements he makes. One of the statements he makes, for example, is this: the chances of you believing something in a transcendent order, contrary to that which you were brought up with, the chances, says Dawkins, are zero. My. Has he read what's happening in China? Did he know what Mao Zedong said when he burned the libraries and the seminaries of all religious worldviews? And there in 1966 in August, when these things were put into a bonfire and burned, he said the last vestiges of any belief in God are over. They are finished, never to come back to haunt China again. Mao Zedong has come and gone. The church in China is the fastest growing church in the world today. Whenever you see intelligibility or specified complexity, especially in the nature of language and abstract reasoning, you always assume an intelligence behind it. You would never look at a sonnet by Shakespeare and assume that a million monkeys pounding on some typewriters or computers ultimately produced that sonnet. You will never look at a dictionary and say it could have developed because of an explosion in a printing press. Whenever you see intelligibility or specified complexity, you always assume an intelligence behind it. If you were to walk onto a planet that was totally foreign to you, and you saw 1 million pebbles in a perfect triangle, you can reasonably say that it happened over 15 billion years, it just came together. You can assume that. You can assume that because it's an aesthetic design. But if you walked onto that platform and saw one piece of paper and said, "Hello, John, I hope you brought some good Indian recipes with you," would you for even one solitary moment think that 15 billion years had put that sentence together? Tell me the truth. You're looking at language. You're looking at sense. When a spaceship blows up, we say, what went wrong? When our astronauts landed on the moon, there wasn't a piece of paper there to welcome them. And yet the voice was heard across the tens of thousands of miles. What they saw was enough to prompt them to say the opening lines from the Word of God: in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Not one of you, hearing the first words from the mouth of your child, mommy or daddy, or the simple epithet, I love you, will think for a moment it is a random collocation of atoms uttering to you some unfathomable mysteries. You know, when you look at the created universe, nothing physical explains its own existence. Everything that you see in intelligibility points out to intelligence behind it. And last, the history of human experience. We see just that trail in human experience. And what the atheists need to be careful about now, and I warned them, Richard Dawkins has finally found out I exist and is going after me furiously. But it's a compliment, because he's not yet figured out God exists. At least he now knows that I do. He has gone after me over these past 3 days, hitting so hard, and everybody's going to say, when are you going to respond? To give truth to him who loves it not is to only give him more multiplied reasons for misinterpretation. I have better things to do. But Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, Daniel Dennett, and Sam Harris had better beware, because the one question they're raising against the existence of God is that there's so much of evil in this world, which is such a self-defeating argument. I was in Minnesota, and the head of the Atheistic Association Minneapolis came, and he was taking me on toe-to-toe. And the angriest he became was when he was talking about God. God is the greatest abortionist. I said, what's wrong with that? You just said that you deny anything of transcendent value except freedom. What's wrong with that? The anger with which they speak about God, you would not speak against a tooth fairy. Something in the back of the minds tell them he's real and we're angry.